First day with the new GoPro. Now the old one still works perfectly fine, and it's going to be used as a backup. Just at the front LCD screen, you can't see. Like if I look up, I don't know if the camera's on or not. Start the day off by starting a fire. My gasket's just barely hanging on. Pokes a little bit until that draft starts going up the chimney, which is only a few seconds. Alrighty. Look at that. This is what I'm doing over here. This is the bottom of the mantle. This is the big mantle, and it'll sit on top of those whatchamacallit here, those legs. But you can see the glue squeezing out. I'm clamping and nailing as I go down, and wiping it off and clean that off there once I get this all nailed on. This is the box that makes up that bumped out area of the mantle. Then there is crown molding, and then there's the actual top surface that you could put something on. Just wanted to give you an idea what crown molding looks like. This is upside down. This is part of the workbench, but you can visualize this is the actual top of the mantle. And that's how it goes up on there, just like that. And what I need to do is to cut a miter right down like this so that this wraps around. I have my saw set up, and I've got the mantle over here, so trying to keep that mental reference of how all this is supposed to get cut. Still upside down. Cut your hand off. It helps if you've got a really good saw that's tuned up well. I don't have that. Good thing it's paint grade. There are different ways to do this. Templates that I used to make to cut this flat. This thing would be laying flat, and you can do the compound miter cuts. But right now we're just going to close our eyes and give this a cut. Woo! The blade cuts through this really good. Now I'm going to go back over to the mantle and put it up there and kind of show you what that looks like. Here's a close-up. So far it's actually looking like it's going to come out really good. There's that miter line. Come right straight through there. And now I've got to cut the next piece that wraps around, and will get glued onto this here with some CA glue. This piece is going to go on like that. And what I'm doing is much easier than doing this on the walls, because you have to cut these exact from wall to wall. I'm doing it, just a little bit at a time. So now I got to visualize that cut, come over here, and then cut it. So this is how it's going to go, just like that. I'll pre-glue this together and then put it in. And now what I'm going to do is I'll cut the tail end off after holding it in place and marking it with a pencil. And here's the other side. Have that side all lined up. Looking down my miters, drew a pencil mark. What I'll do is I'll make it just a hair bigger, longer, and then check. And then I may just be taking a tiny bit off with like a half of a blade or less. Well, this is the glue that I'm going to be using, and this is the spray, the Instaset. There's two ways to do this. You can glue it with this and then spray the seams with this, or you can glue one side with this and spray the other side with this, and it like instantly sets up. So since I want just a little bit of wiggle room, I'm going to glue it, and then when I think I got it right, I'm going to squirt it and then hold it for 8 seconds. Well, this isn't the first time I've worked with CA glue or the first time I've worked with crown molding, but it is the first time I've ever used them both together. That actually came out pretty good. A lot of stuff I do for the first time, I don't know if it's going to work or not. There's probably some math involved in doing this the right way. I'm just using a small combination square. We're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 3/8 of an inch. I'm not sure how this plastic trim is going to nail to the MDF, so I'm just going to a few practice shots to make sure I got the depth set right. I'm going to use wood glue and nails to fasten it to the front of this, but I'm going to hit the back side up with some 120. This is pretty shiny, so I want to scuff it up a little bit to give it a little bit more biting surface. Tooth. I think they call it tooth. I got it all just resting together. It's kind of teetering, but this gives you kind of an idea of what it's gonna look like. I think it looks pretty darn good. Now I gotta prep it for paint. Gotta fill all the nail holes, check all the joints, the miter joints, see if anything needs to get filled on them. Sand, primer. I'm gonna route an edge on this. I may cut this back like a half an inch. It's a little on the big side, but it has to be because it sticks out so much because this goes up against a wall. If you had just a regular fireplace that's already recessed into the wall, it wouldn't have to be that thick. You could shrink it down quite a bit.